Hi, today is Saturday, May 27th, 2017. This is A Swede Speaks. And it's time for This Week in Sweden. So let's get started. On Saturday, May 20th, 2017, there was an article in Dagens Nyheter that showed that out of 100 persons connected with murder and attempted murder with weapons, in Sweden that is, 90 of them had at least one foreign-born parent, and about 80% have their roots in the areas in the Middle East and North Africa from where large groups have arrived to Sweden during the last 2 decades. Could we think about what the reasons for this might be? Well, I am guessing, yes, you're right, I am guessing this is connected with Islam, because Islam makes assimilation impossible, or at least extremely difficult. There was a Nordfront demonstration in Örebro. They didn't have a permit to demonstrate, but there was a demonstration. It wasn't stopped by the police, since the Swedish constitution doesn't allow them to stop it. Nordfront is the internet name of the organization known as Svenska Motståndsrörelsen, the Swedish resistant movement. And according to the Swedish security police, they are the national socialist group that threatens Sweden's inner security the most, well, among the different Nazi groups in Sweden. What I think about them? Well, I am just as fond of National Socialists as I am of Islam, or I am just as fond of National Socialism as I am of Islam. So I don't like it. The local reported that more Swedes die alone and penniless, and why is this? Let me give the short version. I see this as a consequence of leftists, be they socialists or be they liberals, fighting the family. It's the disintegration of family that makes people die alone, and the hedonistic lifestyle that makes people poor. And also, I read that some people, well, they had children, but the children wouldn't want to pay for the funerals. So it's really terrible. But well, that's what happens when a society turns it back on God, basically. But I mean, because if you don't have God, you will lose the Judeo-Christian conservative values, and you will end up with this. On Sunday, May 21st, Anders Arborelius, who is the Roman Catholic Bishop of Stockholm, was appointed cardinal by Pope Francis. As I understood it, he's the first Swedish-born cardinal ever. And one person was brought to hospital after a big fight in central Norrköping. And reportedly, he was a man in his 20s, and he was stabbed in his chest. And by the way, Sweden beat Canada in ice hockey and became world champions. So, yay Sweden. On Monday, May 22nd, Mats Kviberg, who I mentioned before in this channel, he sold his stocks in the newspaper Metro, and then it was reported that SL, Storstockholms Lokaltrafik, the public transportation company of the greater Stockholm area, decided that now they are not interested in breaking their deal with Metro anymore, as they was for a while. My guess is that it's because Kviberg is leaving, so now they know that Metro will stay in the mainstream media narrative. I guess that's what it is. And when the Swedish ice hockey team arrived to Sweden after beating Canada and becoming world champions, Prime Minister Stefan Löfven wanted to speak. But we never got to hear any speech from him because he was booed out by the ice hockey fans, and he remained silenced. The mainstream media tried to pretend this never happened, so there hasn't been much stories about this in the mainstream media. But there has been other stories, and there are videos of this. I don't care very much about sports, but it's almost so I'd like to become an ice hockey fan now, because this was funny. Okay, I am not in favor of booing out people as a tactic, but it wasn't his time to speak. And he is unpopular enough in Sweden to know that maybe he should just be quiet and leave the ice hockey fans alone. A 15-year-old boy was charged with murder after a janitor was shot while clearing snow in Malmö earlier this year. 15-year-old boy, yeah. So on Tuesday, May 23rd, Ivar Arpi, an editorial writer at Svenska Dagbladet, one of the larger Swedish newspapers, he criticized Prime Minister Löfven in a status update on Facebook, where Arpi wrote that Löfven is wrong when he calls the Manchester terror attack senseless. And Arpi said that we are at war with Islamism, and it is time for us to say so. Well, kudos to Arpi. I would say at war with Islam, but okay, well, I'll take what I get here. An editorial writer at one of Sweden's largest newspapers say that we are at war with Islamism. Okay, that's going to be good enough right now. On Wednesday, May 24th, it was reported that youth gangs had taken over a shopping mall in Falkenberg, which is a small town in Halland in the south of Sweden. This report followed after an incident on Monday where there was a suspected arson at the mall's toilet and the entire building had to be evacuated. It was also reported that a man who was denied a job interview at a housing institution in Uppland, he was denied. This was back in April last year. Well, he explained to the company that he does not shake hands with women, and then they told him he did not have to come to the job interview. To me, that sounds like a reasonable policy. However, the Swedish Equality Ombudsman assesses in a decision that the company was not in accordance with the Swedish ban on discrimination. Well, if that's discrimination, I'm against that law. Because a company should be allowed to have their policies. Period. On Thursday, May 25th, and this is also in Uppland, this is in Uppsala. Police who was attacked by so-called EU migrants, and EU migrants is usually a code word for Romas from Romania and Bulgaria. And this was in Boländerna in Uppsala. They were attacked by these migrants with stones, frying pans, and, as they said in the article, the occasional knife. 2 women were arrested, but the man the police were after, he managed to escape. But the story gets even more crazy. The police had called for backup, but the backup didn't come there, because the backup car flew off the road when the backup police forces lost control of the car. I'm feeling like I should start playing Benny Hill music or something, but anyway. And Rashid Musa, who is chairman of Sweden's Young Muslims, published death threats against himself on Facebook. Well, threats he had received. And whoever sends these kinds of letters, please just stop it. It's not helping anyone, this kind of behavior. Not that I think that whoever did this listens to me, but, well, that's what I think at least. Civilized people don't act that way. On Friday, May 26th, it was reported that a Syrian who came to Sweden as a refugee, I mean with refugee status one way or the other, that's at least what the newspaper said, and who was involved in an attack on Shia Muslims in Sweden, he had his residence permit removed when it was discovered that he is an Islamic State sympathizer. However, he cannot be deported because he could either be deported to Saudi Arabia or Syria. I don't know why they said Saudi Arabia, but maybe he had dual citizenships. I don't know. But none of those countries, you can't send people there because they practice the death penalty. So the case ended without sentence, and he is a free man walking the streets of Malmö. Do you want my opinion? Okay, you're gonna get it. My opinion is they should deport him to Syria anyway. He knew what he was doing. He knew that he was a Syrian citizen and that he might get deported there if he did something stupid in Sweden. He should live, but he should get to face the consequences of that. And that's all I have to say about last week in Sweden. I would like to thank the people who are supporting this channel through prayers, through Patreon, through PayPal. That's all greatly appreciated. And if you like this channel, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. Please share my videos on social media, on Facebook and Twitter and other social media that allows you to share my videos. If you got something to say, feel free to comment. Like this video if you like it. And I would also like to encourage you to support this channel. And I will include all the necessary information in the information box below. This is A Swede Speaks. Have a nice day.